Just coming to LA from Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot, you know, to kind of just detach from what you know is comfortable. It's home.
I mean, you guys are bosses of Atlanta, but
Yeah.
what stands out to you as the main difference when you're in LA versus Atlanta?
The weather.
The weather.
Yeah, weed.
The weed. Damn, you really came prepared for no jumper right there, Usher. That's the main thing that stands out, though.
It's just a different movement. I've been coming here many years. You know what I'm saying? And you know, from recording albums, because I recorded a lot of confessions here.
Right.
And, you know, just kind of moving in between Atlanta and the energy of what Atlanta creates and the freedom that you have when you out here musically. I was just telling him, like, yo, if you bring the A with you, and you don't lose that spirit, you don't get caught up into the flashing lights of LA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You'll create some incredible stuff.
That's like the kind of thing that tears a lot of artists apart, is that they just don't know if they should stick to their spot where they grew up or if they should move to LA and just give in, and all of a sudden they're at Jamba Juice in Calabasas.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Every day.
Hey, by the way, it's okay to be healthy. It's all right.
It's
we
okay.
like Jamba Juice. We you know, smoothies ain't bad. But you know what I'm saying? You still got to be able to have a fat burger, whatever you might need to keep you grounded, you know what I'm saying, in and out.
Is your diet better in Atlanta or LA?
My diet is pretty consistent across the board. You know what I'm saying? I just decided I wasn't going to eat meat no more.
Really? Oh, yeah.
I'm not a vegan, but, you know, I'm
aspiring?
Yeah. I don't eat chicken or beef.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I ain't got there yet.
Yeah.
So what's you guys' friendship like? Like, how did this project come about? It actually, from talking to Zay before you got here, it sounds like it was a lot more organic than I would have assumed, in the sense that this wasn't even supposed to happen like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, we did a song back in, what was that, 2009, 2010, we did Papers. And it always, you know, that was my go-to brag song for me. Like, for Zaytoven, like, yeah, I did, you know, Gucci and Future and OJ and Migos, but yeah, I did Usher. I did Usher song, you know what I mean?
I busted that out during your interview. I'm like, tell me about working with
Yeah,
Usher.
you did. You sure did, yeah. So, you know what I mean? To get now, you know, in the studio where we just locked in and we seeing each other every day, we working every day, it created something totally different past the music. I think that's why the music sounds so good, because you know how you just start gelling with somebody, and it's like, okay, now it's easier to make music, so everything that we do is just coming out powerful, because, you know, it's a sense of like a friendship that just built off of being in the studio. So,
what do you see in Zay that made you want to get in the studio with him, or what was the circumstances surrounding this before it happened?
Before it happened, we had, you know, Papers under our belt. And, you know, many times you can work on a record and never even be in the same room with the producer, right? But I always just had respect for his ability to be 360, not just to produce music for me, but even how his music touches everybody, and it also too still feels like it's always, and that I always respected. It was actually me and also to Mark Pitts trying to find the right time. You know, his timing was open, and you know, it's like let's just get in and see if we do something. And before you know it, it just started happening. It was like, yo, let's do another one, and another one. Then we did 3 in one day. Then it just kept flowing. And then 5 days later, we had this record. But I fuck with him the long way, because he's a real one. You know what I'm saying? He a real dude.
Right.
Like, and if anybody was deserving of having that opportunity to be able to just show all of what he do, it's him, man.
what's up?
Yeah,
that's
it's like that, and that's part of what Atlanta is. It's like Atlanta is a culture where we all support each other and keep lifting each other up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That rather it was JD at one point, or Dallas, or, you know, Organized Noise. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I've been everywhere.
Right.
I started with Organized Noise and then made my way over to working with Bobby Brown, and then working with L.A. Reid and Babyface, and, you know, working with JD. Came a lot later. I lived with Puff for about a year of my life, so I always had that opportunity to be able to touch the culture. You know what I'm saying? So this was my opportunity once again, to reach back and touch the culture.
It's crazy because my recollection of Usher throughout my life, when I really think back to like when you entered my consciousness, it's basically like me in elementary school. I want to be cool with girls. I want girls to like me. And I'm listening to the radio, and I'm listening to dudes like you and, you know, whoever else, and, you know, Jodeci, shit like that. And you guys are talking about women, and I'm just like, God damn it, I want that lifestyle, even though I'm in like 5th grade and I have no clue how to get there.
He's trying to turn up.
You know, you're a kid and you're listening to these dudes who are like roughly maybe the same age as you, and they're talking about girls, and you want to get involved with that. And it's just like you have no idea where to start. And that, to me, you know, I just had a real high degree of jealousy, I guess is the best way to describe it, towards Usher as a young man.
I got Puff to thank for that, man. Because while everybody else was going more the kiddie route, you know, Nickelodeon and Disney, he kind of took me to the streets. He took me with Jodeci, and I was running with Biggie and Craig Mack, and, you know what I mean, running with Bad Boy in those earlier days, which kind of gave me at least an understanding of how to make adult music. The one thing that makes it very hard for any artist is to get old. So he started me way, way ahead in my story. I didn't have to go through, and I missed some things, but you know, I don't feel like I was deprived in any way because I still had a childhood and enjoyed myself. But we were making music that, like, as you said, teenagers felt like, oh shit, I can say that. I want to, for real, I can talk to her that way. Yeah. Can you get with it?
You know,
that's it.
On your Wikipedia page,
It's like, oh my God.
they refer to you going to hang out with Puff as you being sent to swag school or swag
You can
camp.
call it that. You can call it that. I mean, that's like an understatement. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, it was like, think about what was going on in '96. You know what I'm saying?
No Instagram, so
There
people
wasn't
are
no
real
Instagram
reckless.
on it. It was Freaknik on up. You know what I'm saying? New York was at its finest, you know, in terms of what hip hop was transitioning to be. You know what I'm saying? And how, you know, Puff was really, he had it moving in a way that felt like, yo, you can't put him in a box. And the culture of what it was still there. He was doing it with Mary, did it with Total. You know what I mean? And I just was blessed to be able to be in that environment. I worked with Jodeci, DeMonte Swing. He produced my first record. So, you know, it was just, I just felt like I was learning the ropes. I was learning by the gurus, you know what I'm saying? And Puff and his marketing and his ability to be able to bring those worlds together, you know, I was able to just be in it. Now, we didn't have any hit records, you know what I'm saying? But we had records that people love. Records like Think of You, Darnell Jones, he wrote that record. I said, you know, I'd worked with I'll Be Sure back then. Worked with Jodeci, Casey. He was in there doing backgrounds for me. It was crazy, man.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Do you, when you look at that time period, do you feel like
Timbaland, yeah, man. Everybody was there, man.
So was it just as much an emphasis on the music as sort of like the nightlife and all that kind of stuff that you were being exposed to?
It was all of it. That's why my pedigree is where it is, because I didn't seen everything. I don't choose to share it all, but you know what I'm saying? I done been everywhere there is to be. From the Dungeon Family, Bad Boy, Rowdy Records, So Def. You've seen it. I done been in the middle of it always.
Well, you were kind of built to have that long-lasting career, though, because I mean, you came out in '94, and then you really hit your stride like 10 years later, roughly,
That was
right?
my focus. My
Yeah.
focus was to have a long-term, you know, career. But the thing that I didn't understand that I was being blessed with was to be able to stay around the culture. Yeah, I didn't understand that. I mean, I'm very thankful to L.A. Reid for understanding that was more important than Puff, to understand that was more important than anything, because that's my saving grace. I wouldn't even understand the value of how amazing Zaytoven is if I didn't come from that. You know what I'm saying?
You know, have you always been that guy, though? Have you always like stayed in touch with what was actually going on in popular music and even stuff that's, you know, bubbling up?
Not really. You know what I mean? I reached a point where I was experimental. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, you know, I really do like selling out stadiums. And the way I was able to do that was to kind of create a little bit more of a pop movement. And I liked it. But it wasn't 100% the culture where I come from. And even though I was forced and trying to, you know, put myself in that space and create things that were a mixture, I felt like I needed to come back home. You know what I'm saying? I need to come back home and show where it comes from. Show what the A is.
What are you driving around listening to at this point in your life?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm listening to A right now.
Okay.
Every day on like repeat. You know what I'm saying? It's become the soundtrack of my weekend life.
Right.
And then we back in the studio. It's like what's so amazing about this project, man, is really the 5 days of spontaneity that made it, and now we just gonna go right back and keep it moving. We're gonna keep working. We got other bangers in the chambers in too.
So you think this is a good enough partnership that you're definitely trying to pursue it for your future projects as well? This is not just a one-time thing.
No. I mean, once we locked in, you know, if Zay needed it, he got it. You know what I'm saying? If it's a feature, if it's some whatever, he got it. We family. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, Zay got the clean-cut lifestyle, though. Does that work for you? Family-friendly Usher?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good for productivity, at least?
Listen. He lives vicariously through every shot that I take.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's like we be
For real.
Man, I remember because Zay did an event, and there was these strippers at the event, and one of them was trying to like dance up on him, and he was just like, no. We had the video of it, and he was just like, no. Like,
Oh, you talking about? No, yeah, she was doing too much though. It's like she was doing way too much. Like she was doing backflips. She was doing too much.
I said to her, I'm like, he's not like a regular rapper guy. Like you probably don't want to be all up on him like that.
Yeah,
she fell back.
Yeah,
Usher would be like, yeah, come on, let me get that lap dance.
yeah.
Shit, yeah. So, okay, the guests on this album, Future and Gunna. How did both of those come about? Because that Gunna is like really one of the hottest dudes out of Atlanta right now. Where did that come from?
Starting with Future.
Yeah. Well, I definitely thought about. We was thinking about nothing but Atlanta artists. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, let's just keep it Atlanta. You know what I mean? That's what we wanted to do. Let's keep it all the way Atlanta. So, of course, I was thinking Future off top, because it's like me and Future done had a nice run here lately. So it's like we got, I want to get Future. We got to have Future. So Future is like a foundated, like boss in Atlanta already. He's a name to go to. Then I said, you know what? It wasn't even really just my idea. I will say it was Mark Pitts and Usher was like, well, let's get some new blood. Let's try, let's get some new talent on here too. And I'm like, man, I don't know yet. Let's, I don't want to try to feel like we doing too much by getting somebody too new. But then I was like, you know what? Gunna is one of the guys that I've been listening to. Like, he's like one of my favorite, up and coming artists right now. So, and what's so crazy? When I first heard Gunna, I felt like he dissed me or something when I first heard it.
Really?
Yeah, because he on his first project, I heard him say something like this come from Metro, this didn't come from Zay. And I was like, dang, was that? I didn't know how to take that. I was like, dang, did he say something, like a shot at me or whatever? But I was like, I still ain't, the music was so hard. I'm like, man, that just, he
you never
just
asked
hard.
him about it?
No, I ain't never, because I just felt like the music was so dope and I liked it so much. I like the fact that he would even say something like that. That's part of the music. That's how they come up. I've been doing music with guys like Gucci, and they always say little slick little things about people. It's like, that was hard that he said that. It just made people, get in tune. So when I met Gunna, we met in Miami. We just ran into each other at the mall, and it's, it was just all love. So I ain't, I'm not finna talk about that. I thought he was dope, you know what I mean? And he extended his hand towards me, so once I called him, when I needed him, he pulled right back. He pulled right up in 10 minutes. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the craziest thing about that is just how natural you sound with Gunna on that song. Like you just haven't missed a beat. Like you could just right there, like just completely fit in and like just excel at, like, just your voice is so powerful and so like iconic. But to hear it like actually mesh perfectly with dudes like Gunna and Future is just like a wild experience.
Yeah, I mean, well, you gotta kind of be in it in order to feel it, and that's also too. It's the family, it's the team that we keep around us that keep the energy moving in that direction. And we was real specific about what kind of songs we wanted to create. So we knew what we were going after. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're talking about how you always kind of wanted to have that sort of long career and everything, but has it almost like surprised you that you're able to still like maintain such a level of relevance and just to be an icon in that way? Is it ever surprising even to you that you're able to sort of fluidly do this transition between different generations and shit?
I think that there's more pressure than anything, but I'm not surprised, for the time and the effort of all of the people who make it so. It's not just me. I'm standing on the shoulders of a lot of people who really have a great deal invested in making sure that this career is what it is, as well as the music and the movement of what it is isn't forgotten. So for that time, no, it's the work that everybody puts in addition to myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed, to be in a position where I can continue to make music at this age, at this level. But part of it is really acknowledging and allowing the people who are there with you to shine. Yeah. Everybody's got to shine.
So you said that the hardest thing is getting old in the business. Like, how would you describe that? Like, why is it so hard? Just because you have to keep sort of reinventing yourself in the mind of the fans?
I mean, that's one part of it. The expectations that are on you keeping up with the success of what it is. You just naturally growing older and not, knowing, should I stay this person or should I try and be something else? Nothing stays the same. Every day I'm a different person, I'm a different energy, but there's certain things that you have to hold on to. And I say that really is the people that you have around you. It's like there's no There's no guide. There's no book of how to get older as an artist. And most people either turn to drugs or they become self-destructive. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just you trying to find yourself. You trying to figure out, what the fuck am I? You know, where do I go? What do I do? You know, what does this mean? Because you got to stay at least true to where you are in the music, right?
And a lot of times people don't want to see you go in the direction of what's popular right now or whatever. And that is the hard thing to manage, is that you can't just jump on every trend that comes around, because people are going to see right through that.
Yep.
It's a challenge.
That's why when you ask me, have I ever went off? Yeah. I mean, I got fully immersed in what it is I was doing. I wasn't like, okay, I'm going to try to be this. No, I actually went and started working with Swedish House Mafia and David Guetta and made hit records with will.i.am, so on and so forth. And it felt great. That's just another thing to add to all of the people who will eventually come to that stadium show. We want to make sure everybody has a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Does the stadium like fundamentally change how you think about music? 'Cause
it has.
It has to.
It has, because music has changed and the expectations that come with even being there have.
Right.
When I started as an artist, how you got there has completely changed. You know what I'm saying? Like what it feels like to be in that position, what kind of show and thing it is, what even kind of artist you are, you know, has all changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like I was born in the era of Mystique, right when hip hop was taking over and becoming a part of the lifestyle, where, you know, being opulent in the way you dress, I mean, the jewelry you wearing and all that shit, like all that changed.
Right.
It was like, okay, well, all right, well,
that was just starting to become, when you really think about it, like the late 90s, mid 90s, that was when it really started to become that you were like, you know, people started to have more access to ways to see you aside from just the music and stuff and the overall image and stuff. We talk about the internet changing everything in terms of people having to be 24 hours a day sort of exposing themselves to the fans on the internet and everything. But I mean, that's been a transition that's been taking place throughout music for decades.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, you have a better opportunity of telling the story you want the people to see if you talk to them. You know, and if you're available, you know, like I can't imagine what it felt like to, you know, have been next to Michael Jackson, right, and be able to see what happened. Like, okay, I'm going through this today, and I'm getting ready to. This is my motivation of the moment, and I'm getting ready to go out here and do this show. Like, we ain't have that. Like, but imagine if we had that.
Right.
I mean, he probably still be living.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that
You know what I'm
because
saying? To be able to voice and feel connected to something.
I got hit up to do this interview while I was watching Drake perform at the Staples Center, and you know, I really like came up going to like warehouse shows and shit like that, and I'm like, God damn it, I'm gonna do an Usher interview, and I'm just like watching Drake like tear down this 20,000 people, and I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck I got myself into with this whole rap podcast thing.
Yeah.
Because I did not picture myself. I didn't know I was gonna be able to get an Usher interview when I started doing this.
Hey, well, man, listen, pressure bust pipes, man.
Me and you in the same boat.
Yeah.
Pressure bust pipes or either make diamonds, man.
He's the most humble. He was cutting hair for like years and years, even when he had platinum records. That was one of the main things I got.
I was cutting hair after we had papers. I was still cutting hair.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. See, Usher wasn't cutting hair. As soon as he had one single out, he was like, "No, I ain't getting a day job." You ever have like a real day job?
I was sweeping hair. I wasn't cutting hair.
Were you really?
I'll never forget having my first hit record and I was broke as fuck.
Really?
I ain't had no money.
How'd that feel?
It felt great because I had intention and I knew where I was headed. And Big John Platt, shout out to him. You know, big job over at Sony ATV now. He gave me my first $1 million, man.
Really?
It was a saving grace at that moment. I was like, man, this right here is, and that became family. This is why to this, not just because of the check, but because of that moment, he understood and made an investment in me.
But so did you go from like
as a writer,
broke to $1 million? It was like that?
Man, you can tear through $1 million so fast, it's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, luckily I was the kid, you know, I was 19, 18, yeah, when I got it. So I was like, let me not spend this. Let me just save. I put it in an account, did what I had to do with it, and let it grow in interest. And then I came back later on, once I got a little bit more money and established, then I began to enjoy a little bit more.
Right, yeah. No, I'm like 34. I had to work for so goddamn long to have like a relevant amount of money that there was no chance of me like taking it for granted.
But that pressure, man, is real, you know, and you know, you can have all of this or you can have none of it. It's just how you choose to look at it, man. It's like if you feel like this is you, this is 100% of who you are, you may get lost.
Right.
But if you realize that you're still a real person, you got kids?
No.
Okay, you got family.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Keep your family there with you. And, you're going to go through some difficult times. You're going to overcome a lot of shit. You're going to fall from some shit. You're going to have some difficult moments, tumultuous things.
Right.
But you got to keep your family with you, man.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's like kind of the weird thing. When I listen to like your catalog, which I've been doing over the past couple of days, it's like I'm getting mixed messages because sometimes I'm hearing songs that are like, no, you need to hold on to your girlfriend. You need to stay true with the girl that's been with you from before all this.
Life is a contradiction, bro.
But then you got a lot of thoughty ass anthems too that are like, no, get out there and do some thought moves.
Yeah. By the way, we're all of it.
Usher is the entire spectrum of human behavior.
There you go, man. And there's something for everybody there. You know what I'm saying? At every level. Because that's life. You're going to continue to, you're going to go through a lot of things. You're going to experience a lot of things. But most importantly, be present, man. Be in that moment.
That's true.
Enjoy that moment.
I mean, you've always been someone who sort of showed their ass on the records and wasn't afraid to sort of just put it all out there. Do you feel like there's a degree of that on this new project? Are you putting what's going on in your personal life out there on this project, or is it more of just turn up anthems and just stuff like that?
No, I mean, I think we touched on a little bit on maybe Say What You Want, and also too, She Ain't Tell You.
That one.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm gonna leave it for you to wonder until you get it, because it's coming, and when it does, it will definitely touch on a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
You seem like a little bit resentful about having paid for a significant amount of plastic surgery in your life. That's one lyrical theme that I noticed.
Aren't they all? Oh my God, that's such a relevant song, whether people know it or not.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to admit it, but
She ain't tell you that.
she ain't tell you.
That might not be the most relatable content. A lot of guys don't necessarily know what that's like, but I'm putting myself in your head and just thinking like, I mean, that's got to be a rough feeling.
Yep.
That investment. And then it's just walking around town doing whatever the hell it wants, and you don't have any control.
What's wrong, man? This the thanks I get?
Oh man! But we can confirm though that is the kind of thing that might haunt you, because like somebody said that to my girl. They're like, "Did Adam pay for your booze?" She's like, "No, I didn't want him to pay for it because I don't. If we break up, I don't want him to be watching me go out and do my thing and thinking that feeling like I did something wrong by taking his investment elsewhere."
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Give it back? Right.
You can't get it back.
You can't get it back.
It's not like a ring. You could take the ring
You
back.
can take the ring back. You can't take the tits back, bro.
No, you can't.
But yeah, man. I mean, hey, listen. A lot of the ideas that were created on the A were kind of like based off of just conversation we were having, and I mean, even as you listen to Gunna, you know how he talk about paying for ass shots. It's not typical for that to happen. Not only in Atlanta, but really in Atlanta.
That's the hub of that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I feel it, man. That's why I'm trying to move out there and just get
Your
myself.
girl listening right now.
No, yeah, she's cool. She'll come with me. She'll be cool. Yeah, I mean, I spent a week in Atlanta in the DJ drama studio, whatever that's called.
Mean
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah, we were
Street,
there for a week straight, so I didn't really get to do like the strip club version of Atlanta and all that cool stuff. Like, we were pretty much just locked in.
Yeah. Once you've done it once, you got it. Yeah.
I mean, man,
Next time you're there, we can make an arrangement. We can hook you up.
that's what I'm saying. I actually
Yeah.
could use that. I feel like I could learn a lot.
You got 2 ambassadors here. We got you.
2 ambassadors.
We got you.
But what is your lifestyle like at this point when you are at home in Atlanta? Like, what is the stuff? Because obviously at this point, you could go out and do whatever. You got all the amenities afforded to you. Like, how do you actually choose to live your life? What actually gives you pleasure at this point?
What gives me pleasure? My kids. I really do enjoy being with my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm originally out of Tennessee, so that's like 2 steps away from Atlanta, in Chattanooga.
And I was watching the Carpool Karaoke and you had the sweatshirt on.
Yeah.
And they're still keeping it real.
Absolutely. So being able to spend time with my family, and hey, listen, I step out every so often. You know what I mean? We'll go out. We had some of the craziest nights ever in the last 2 weeks behind making this record, because that was really where we were in the mode we were staying in. But, for the most part, I'll step out every so often, but I don't make it an everyday thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be at the opening of every letter, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to definitely have fun and make sure that I'm staying in the know, because going out ain't just to be seen. Like, you hear some of the greatest records and you get the buzz, you get a chance to get the feeling and know where everything is in Atlanta.
Have you gotten to that point before where you were too locked away, too sort of like imprisoned in your own world and not going out and like taking in the culture and everything?
Absolutely. I think I had moments when I just decided, you know, it was a very deliberate choice to just say, nah, I want to just be by myself right now. You know what I'm saying? After 2, you know, marriages that didn't necessarily go the way that I thought that they would have, or they ended. But because they were great moments. They were great moments. But you know, I was just like, I want to just be away. And, you know, I started posting all kind of stuff on my Instagram, of me just traveling all around the world. And that time I really got a chance to just reflect and just disconnect, just completely disconnect and make sure I stay connected myself.
Right. I mean, even when you're on tour too, a lot of it's just you're backstage, you're performing, you're back on the bus.
Oh,
it's
no,
like,
I ain't that dude.
Oh, you're not that dude at all.
And I go to museums.
Really?
Yeah, I go to amusement parks. I do it all. I enjoy the city. When I'm there, I'm like, who knows what's where and what do we eat?
Really?
Where do we go? Where the people? Because I want to go and I want to take in a little bit. And most of the time, my kids will be with me, so I want to show them too, you know?
See, that's very resourceful. Yeah, usually when I've been on tour, it's like we're not with it enough to be like planning anything out. It's pretty much just like the bus, smoking weed on the bus.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, we got another one for that, but yes. Right.
You got multiple buses on tour.
At times.
There's a turn-up bus
If
and
it
then
ain't
a family
plane,
bus?
If it ain't a plane, yeah, it's probably the turn-up bus. We call it the bus though.
Oh, okay. So, but does the bus thing kind of go away once you reach like a certain level of celebrity and you're making enough money from your shows that it's better to just fly?
Well, now that my kids are in school, I got to make sure that they're back if they're going to come out and spend some time with me over the weekends and stuff like that.
Okay.
But for the most part, I enjoy, if they're not in school, I really do enjoy being on a bus. Like, I like to travel.
All right.
I came from a traveling family. So we would just get in cars and drive across country to, you know, Mexico or go to California. And my stepdad was a truck driver.
Right.
So I love being able to travel and look at things and be able to just take in wherever I go.
Right.
Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah. That when I think about it, those are actually some of the weirdest memories I have as a kid. Is like my parents driving, 30 hours down south to go to Miami for a vacation.
Yeah.
It's like, why the fuck were we driving that far in a Suburban?
How in the hell could we? How do we all fit in there?
How did we do that? Everybody having to take pee breaks at different times. It sounds like a horrible idea.
Air blasting to keep whoever's driving up, and you like freezing cold in the back. Yeah.
It's like 1991. I'm like sitting in the back with a coloring book.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a weird thing to think of. One other thing we were talking about, though, is that you have the designation of having been on the Poetic Justice soundtrack and the Shazam soundtrack.
Damn.
That's iconic.
Yeah. What a world of a difference.
I know, right? And I mean, I'm sure a lot of stuff after all that, but those are just 2 old school classics that stood out to me.
One of my greatest moments, like the classic moment that stands out for me, is being able to help Kevin Hart make his acting debut.
Really?
Yeah, and it was not a great movie. But my point is, I bet on him, and I saw something in him. It was like, yo, he's gonna be a star, man.
So Shazam was his first movie?
No. It was a movie called In the Mix.
Okay.
Shazam. I'm just. You were talking about the
No,
juxtaposition of those 2 movies. Yeah, Shazam, and then also
So you believed in Kevin Hart from a young age?
No, I put him in his first movie.
Right, but you believed in him?
When I seen him, man, he was just incredible. Something about him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What was your impression of Janet Jackson around the time that the Poetic Justice soundtrack came out?
I didn't meet Janet Jackson until later on, and I ended up touring with her, man, and got to know her, and she ended up dating my brother, JD. But she was like a sister. You know what I mean? Even then, in those times, giving me that opportunity to be in front of an audience like she was, because she brought me out on the Velvet Rope tour. And it really helped me to understand, like, she made an investment in me, no different than like the investment that I made in Kanye West. Putting him on his first major tour with Confessions. So it's like they were teaching me how to do it. They were teaching me in those moments, this is how you do it, you know?
But were you always that dude who was capable of like taking the people you were around, and like this is the impression I get from you, is that you were always able to take the stuff you saw and actually like distill the lessons from that and like learn from everybody that you were around and sort of soak up that game?
A little bit. It's like it's kind of like, it's called clariosentient. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to tune in and figure out what is the good that I could get from this.
Right.
Don't look at the negative of what it is. Take what's positive and be able to use it myself, or either offer it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah. I think having those real world experiences prepared me to be the artist that understands that you got to continue to give it back and continue to keep your eye there on who's next, what's next, what energy needs to be lifted up, who needs to have that recognition because they deserve it, because they worked for it, because they deserve to be there, and they are going to take care of it.
Hey.
Yeah, you found yourself in a good spot.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Yeah.
It's kind of, I mean, fundamental lesson too, man. Like, we learn this in church. You blessed to be a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
All day long.
Does that still sort of like occur to you that the church influence that you had is like a big part of like why you ended up with the confidence to do what you're doing now?
I think it's my surroundings. I think it has something to do with the South, and just innately how we are as people. If one person in the family eating, they bring everybody with them, or bring as many people as they possibly can with them, and they remember that if I'm the only one at the top, then I won't stay there. I'm gonna bring my people up here with me. I want them to be able to have an opportunity to be part of this.
You guys actually look like you could be related. Anybody ever say
they
that?
Be calling us twins.
Okay.
When we start posting, they start calling us twins.
Yeah.
I used to get that in high
The
school.
funniest shit last night. When was it? This chick came up to you and was like,
gave me a hug. He said, "Happy birthday, happy birthday." No, listen, the dude when we was going outside, when I was getting in my car, he stepped out the Lambo and said, "Zay, man," he said, "Man, happy birthday, bro." I'm like, that ain't my birthday, bro. He like, "Oh, snap, my bad." Zaytoven, right?
Oh man. Did he turn red? Like you seemed like horrified that he messed that up.
Yeah, he was
so
tripping.
embarrassed.
He was just because it wasn't just him; it was his buddy too. The buddy got out the driver's seat, so they both came to say happy birthday.
Right.
I'm like, bro, that ain't me.
Right.
So
That's amazing. Can we talk about the star? How did that happen? Because I know you touched on it in the carpool karaoke thing, and you actually went there and were cleaning it, and some guy walked by and didn't believe that was you, which I thought was pretty.
How did it happen?
Yeah, like because you just seem so young to get into that
you,
place.
I could tell you, a love affair between two people who were young, optimistic, and ambitious. One by the name of Usher Raymond III, and the other by the name of Janetta O'Neal. Mm-hmm. They came together and they made a baby, and that baby had a plan at some point, and it happened. And Janetta Patton, who became my manager, who is the same Janetta who gave birth to me,
Right.
she worked her ass off to create a career and a standard. And I done my best to try to live up to that standard and continue to keep that story going. But that's how it happened. It happened as a result of a lot of hard work. It happened as a result of a great deal of commitment on a lot of people's parts, starting with Janetta Patton.
Right.
Yep.
So
mother.
it all goes back to moms.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of fucked with me. I ain't gonna even lie. Like, it's the one person that I wish I would have been able to speak more of at the Star. And, because she was there. But I didn't get a chance to say how much of a contribution I think I give her the opportunity to show how much of a contribution she had made and sacrifices that she made for me to be able to have that moment.
Right.
I talked about her, Terry Lewis, Jimmy Terry Lewis, you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. He came up and spoke and also to recognize it. But that Star is really a shining reminder of her hard work.
Right.
Yeah.
So does that stand out? Like you've had obviously a million accolades, a million big moments. Does that somehow stand out as the biggest one, or is there other ones that stand out to you as bigger?
I mean, it just completed a piece of my fantasy to be a star in the hood and a star in Hollywood. Yeah.
Right. Because
I needed both of them.
Once you do that, it's kind of like, shit, well, there's only so many people who've done this. That definitely seems like it puts you in a certain caliber, a certain category.
Yeah, maybe so, but I don't like boxes. I hate boxes. But yeah, definitely, it did give me, once you're Grammy nominated or Grammy Award winning, that changes everything. Once you have a star, if you're going to put me in a box, put me in that one. That's cool.
Right, exactly.
I'll take that box.
Okay, I did want to ask this. One of my employees said that he saw you at the grocery store, just nobody around, chill, just Usher, no big deal. He's like, I couldn't believe it that he was just moving around casually like that. Are you still comfortable like in that position? Like you're a massive celebrity, but you still feel comfortable that you can just sort of make moves by yourself sometimes? I
really do enjoy being able to be out and look as though I'm by myself.
Okay. I see. So there's somebody who might be keeping an eye on you when you're in that situation.
No, actually, those are the genuine moments for me, to be able to have like just moments where ain't nobody there.
Right.
And it's just chill. But I know that there's always somebody watching and somebody always there. It's like I don't feel like I need to have bodyguards and all that kind of stuff around all the time, because that's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't coming here with all that shit today.
No, that's true.
Right. I came here with my crew.
Yeah, all
family.
women actually.
Strong ones.
Very.
Yeah.
You like that energy?
And Luke, they just called you a woman.
And Luke, sorry, Luke. Yeah. And a British white man. Yeah. Do you like having, like, in terms of like
normalcy? I love being able to walk around by myself and be able to, you know what I'm saying, to walk my dog. Yeah, I love it. I love that. Yeah.
When you're do you have a house out here? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Where do you stay?
I think you may see me in Erewhon. That's what it was. Right?
Erewhon, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very good point.
Yeah. We try to keep it healthy. Yeah.
I can hear them laughing in back. Like, yes, Erewhon. What about like your team and the people around you? Do you prefer the female energy in terms of like people running your career and stuff?
Nah. I think it's a mixture of both, because it's like you only seeing pieces of my team here.
Okay.
Anyway. But you know, from my lawyers to management, administration, all of that. You know, it's a issue and thing of loyalty, and also to commitment, and everybody here has earned their stripes.
Definitely. What do you guys plan on doing?
Me and Luke just started, but he earned his stripes.
Luke
I
just
put
started.
him through hell this week.
You got to put him through hell. In what way? Are you a tough person to manage?
I'm just saying, this weekend was crazy. You understand that we decided to do this in 3 days?
Really?
Yeah. After we put together an album that took 5 days to make, 2 or 3 days to mix and master. I was like, in 3 days, I want to put it out.
Wait, so you recorded this project how long ago?
We did it in 5 days, like what, about a week and a half ago?
About a week and a half. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
But it was so hot. It was something that I wanted to supply people with. That was like, it was so urgent.
Right.
We should give it out now.
Is that something that your label?
And it was on my birthday, so I was like, I'm 40. Fuck it, let's go ahead and do it. Give it out.
Did your label just agree to this? Don't they normally probably want you to do 6 months of promotion before you put a project out, or were they agreeable?
I think that they understood what it was, because it's like a 1-2 punch. You know what I'm saying? This is a precursor to a full album that's going to obviously, and there's some other things that we're going to do. Stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? You know, the album comes, you know, whenever. But, you know, as of right now, the more traction we have on certain records, you know, the more we kind of move in different directions. And, you know, people have begun to select their favorites and have begun to ask for visuals. So I'm like, all right. Yeah, let's stay in the moment.
Stay in the moment.
I was just writing an
We just
email.
talking about the videos and
We got to do
Oh,
it.
there's videos in the works?
yeah, Zay's like, yo, we gotta do a video for this joint.
Got to.
Gotta do one for this one.
Yeah, I got to put the song with Gunna on the Spotify playlist, the No Jumper Spotify playlist. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
very important, because
Yes,
I feel
sir.
like that
Yes,
and
sir.
the Future one to me are both just like real standouts.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man.
It kind of reminds me, honestly, of like when Future like put out the 3 mixtapes, one of which he did in entirety with you. It kind of reminds me of that, like that sort of energy of just
Yes,
like
that's exactly what it
getting
is.
in the studio and just going crazy with a producer, and just like, you know, if there is going to be an album coming out in the future, like this sets the perfect plan for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Care of Zaytoven.
Kara Zaytoven, man, he's been doing it for a long time. So.
Oh, man.
All right, so the Luke in particular is telling us that we gotta wrap this up. Anything else that we should know about the project and stuff? Hey, it's on streaming services now.
It's on streaming services. You know, I just have celebrated, you know, what was an amazing night last night with my friends and family. You know, if anything, you guys enjoy it. You know, just understand that there's more where this came from. And I really wanted to give you the choice to be able to be in the moment with me, be present, and have this very impromptu thing that just happened that has turned into really an incredible weekend. And I think it's going to continue to go. You know, listen and enjoy it, and stay tuned.
All right, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
You-
man.
You could have gone and talked about this with anybody, and so somehow I worked my way into this
There
interview.
you go, bro.
I'm shocked, but
Yeah.
I love the project. Got to be real.
Thank you, bro.
Crazy. All right, man. I appreciate you guys
Appreciate it,
coming
bro.
on. This has been amazing. Thank you so much to Usher. Zaytoven, nice
Yep.
to get to revisit our
Yes, sir.
friendship.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
man.
Rolling like an alpha, I got no joy. I'm rolling like an alpha.